Hi, my name is Blevin from Walker Scott, and in this series we've covered a wide range of look and feel and navigation within D365 Finance and Operations. In this session, I'll be covering how to manage views from a system administration perspective. It should be noted that I'm using a standard Microsoft D365 environment with Microsoft's Contoso demo data. Let's jump right in. Now, firstly, it should be noted that you can actually publish views to users in a few different ways. I'm going to first start off with the system administration way, and to do so, I'm going to navigate to the system administration module, and under the system administration module, I can filter for personalization. So it's under setup personalization. And when you come to personalization, there's a few different areas that you can see. So you can see that by default, it pops up with the published views, and you can see that there's a number of Microsoft published views, and there are a few organization published views as well. So there's a few views that are already been published. You can also look at any unpublished views that are in the process. You can also search for your users' views. So in this case, I'm the only one that has published some views. You can see I have a list of some views: Finance Blevin, Customer Group. I also have some other ones for customer details. And you can see I've also got a view for an invoice workspace as well. So the first way of publishing a view to not just to an individual is where you can publish it to a security role. Now, I strongly recommend that you create specific security roles for personalizations for users. What I mean by that is if you want to publish a view to all users, it's simpler to create a security role first called Personalization All Users, and then apply those security roles to everyone in your organization. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy a view from Blevin, and I'm going to publish it to the entire organization. So first of all, I'm going to select this credit limit and hold status, and then I can click the publish button. Now what you'll see is I can give this a name. So for example, I can call this Walker Scott, and I can call it, I can actually remove that. I'll just call it the Finance default view. You can give it a bit of a description. You can also publish it as the default view if you want that to be the default view. So I'm going to click publish as default, and then where you'll see is publish to people in these roles. And that's where I mentioned that you should try and create a security role. So for example, I've created a blank security role, has nothing in there, but what that gives me is the option to add personalizations or publish personalizations to users. So for example, if I click personalization all users, what you'll see is I can publish that to all users that have this security role, and it's going to apply to all legal entities. And when I click publish, you'll see that it's going to be defaulted for all users. I'm going to click yes, and that has now been published as an organization view. So if I sort this from first to last and jump down the bottom, you can see I have 3 published views. For one is the credit team view, one is the default view, and I also have a Walker Scott finance view. So that is how you can capture individuals, secure personalizations and their views, and publish them to the wider organization. You can also look at users' individual settings, and you can choose whether you want to prevent them from doing personalizations. I personally wouldn't limit this to any user because personalizations provide a huge amount of value, but you can remove and edit the personalizations as well. You can also look at a default wide personalizations, which we strongly recommend is set to yes. So that's the first way that you can publish views to wider users. The second opportunity then is through the views themselves. So if I navigate to accounts receivable and all customers, I can now see that this is the default view that was published to me. If I click on the drop down and I click on manage my views, you can see that this has been published to me. So these two views have been published to me, and there is another organization view that you can see that is available that hasn't been published to me. It's been published to a security role that I don't have assigned to me. Now, going back to the views, you can publish this. So for example, customer group 30, I can choose to publish this again. I can give it a different name. I could call it Walker Scott Group 30. You can give it a description. I'm not going to publish it as the default view. And then similarly, I can choose the personalization roles. Rather than all users, I could pick the finance team, for example. I am going to choose it to all users and click publish. Now, what you'll see is there are now 4 views that have been published from the organization, and I now have a Walker Scott Group 30 as well. So if I click on the drop down, you'll see I now have a Walker Scott Group 30. You can see that the padlock view there means that this has been published. It's not a personal view. So personalizations and views are incredibly powerful, and as a system administrator, you can publish these to either all users if you create a security role for that, or you can create personalization security roles for unique groups, say the finance team or warehouse team. You can be very flexible and ensure that they're published to a wide range of users. Thank you.